Hello, my name is Carrie Mackey, and this is my presentation for business communications, what I gleaned from the course, as Professor Salim likes to say. And this is everything that I have found really useful that I know I'm going to take with me in my business endeavors and actually in a lot of my endeavors, because communication is, something we do all day, every day, at work or not. So please bear with me. I've never done any kind of video before. Someone was supposed to help me, but unfortunately they weren't able to assist me at this time. I'm suffering also from a summer cold, so I may have to drink water from time to time. I don't do any social media, Facebook, anything like that, so this is all really new to me. So I've been afraid of this project, but here we go. I'm going to just be kind of going off my PowerPoint of what I found really important lessons from our course. What is business communications? It's the process of, communications as in general, the process of transferring information between senders and receivers. Communication is achieved using one or more of the following ways: oral, written, visual, or electronic media. And the essence of communications is sharing. It's providing data and information between you and others so that each benefits from the communication given or received. Why is communications important for my career? Having strong communication skills will give you an advantage in the job market, and that's very, very true. The higher you rise in an organization, more of your time will be spent on communicating. Very true as well, because the higher higher up you are in the food chain, you can expect that you're going to be giving more direction to others to probably take over technical skills and things that you used to do. And to give this direction, you're going to have to communicate effectively. Employers appreciate employees with strong communication skills. I know we learned in our text that that's one of the big frustrations for employers, is that kids are coming out of college not knowing how to communicate, have never taken a course. Then it's something that, they feel they are going to have to teach, so it's just taking time away from the position altogether. Having great ideas and a lot of ambition can only bring you so far in the business world. Learning how to communicate your great ideas will bring you success. Very, very true. If you don't learn how to communicate properly, how are you going to get your idea across? Your idea might be, the best idea they heard all year if you learn how to communicate it properly. And you want to make sure that you are successful. Effective business communications is important for the company, and it provides a strengthened relationship between the stakeholders, company, and in turn, those affected by our business decisions. It means our jobs. Quite frankly, it means the consumer has their products. And that's just the long and short of it. How can I make communications in my career? How can I make communications in business more effective? Provide practical information, give facts rather than vague impressions, present information in a concise, efficient manner, clarify expectations and responsibilities, offer compelling, persuasive arguments and recommendations. And then for making communications effective in your career, you want to understand that business is more global than ever before and more diverse in the workplace. I think we can all attest to this. I'm sure we all probably have worked or lived around people of another culture. And sometimes it can be hard to communicate. They don't understand us. We're not understanding them. What do they even like to have for lunch? Just simple things. It would be nice to learn about these cultures and how they're not used to living, but how they like to be treated and how they like to be, even, as a matter like of personal space. What kind of personal space would this person like? We should know these things. You want to understand and master the 3-step writing process. This is an invaluable tool. I think I will use this all the time in my business career. I think we all will. It goes across so many of our communication functions: letters, emails, proposals, reports. It's going to be a fabulous tool. We want to learn how to function well in a team. We want to be organized with your ideas and information. Learn the art of email messages, something I really did not know the art of, but I've taken a lot away from that. And then proposals and reports. So those are what I'm going to focus on and what I found most important about the course. First, we'll start with global business and diversity in the workplace. Excuse me. You want to develop your cultural competency, and that's an appreciation for cultural differences and adjusting your communication style to be successful in sending and receiving information successfully. This is done by using your attitude, knowledge, and your skills. You never want to judge or stereotype. You want to do your homework on the culture. How do they do business? How are they socially? You want to learn all their rules and apply them. And some of the main rules that you want to focus on for the culture is their culture's individualism, their equality in their country, the use of their privacy and personal space, times and schedules they like to do business, their religions, the way they like to communicate, what is their style. And you always want to be honest and respectful. And I think it was the French, and one of my readings, a French manager, he said, you know, honesty goes a long way. Sometimes you just have to say, hey, this is how we communicate and do business in my country. How do you do it here? So, I can respect your policies and procedures and what have you. And that does go a long way. I think people really respect that. Okay, the 3-step writing process. Invaluable tool. We're going to probably use it all day, every day in our business careers. You can apply it to so many of the ways you need to communicate. Step 1 is plan your message, analyze the situation, gather your information, select the right medium, and organize your information. Step 2, adapt to your audience and compose your message. Step 3 is to revise, produce, proofread, and distribute your message. Important things in the steps that we want to take to remember are to always be polite and use a you attitude. Use appropriate English. You are not going to speak or email using text verbiage. You want to use the proper tone and voice, and you always want to project the image of your company, the image they prefer. Always a good image, I'm sure. This is important. I always think it's important to be an ambassador for your company. You want to make sure, even if you're standing in an elevator, you don't know who's standing next to you. You don't want to be in that elevator talking negatively about your company. It could be, the CEO. Always keep your objective in mind. That's important because it's easy to kind of lose track and get off kilter and, start, like I'm doing right now, approaching it in a different way than you had originally meant to in the first place. And you want to make sure your information is accurate, ethical, and pertinent. You want to make sure you're giving updated, latest information. You don't want to be giving old information that's not going to be conducive to you or the objective that you're trying to reach. And it's all about teamwork. One of the other important lessons. Working in teams increases information, knowledge, more ideas, solutions, and increases your performance levels. Effective teams have trust, good communication, think creatively, are open and honest, make decisions based on everyone's vote, and know how to resolve conflict. So important. Effective teams are functional in the maintenance roles using encouragement, harmony, and compromise. Effective teams are functional in completing their tasks by understanding the objective, the goal they're trying to reach, and why they are in a team meeting in the first place, sharing information, coordinating their ideas and issues, and finalizing their solutions, and how are they going to process all this to reach their goal. Use conflict as constructively as possible. That can be done really effectively. And use understanding, openness, and fairness when overcoming objections. Again, that can be done really effectively. I hear what you have to say. I completely understand. I get why you are looking at it that way. Thank you for your views. Here's kind of what I'm thinking. That type of thing. And The next important lesson is you want to be organized with your ideas and your information. Define your main idea, limit your scope of your information. So you want to understand the length that you need to write an email. Is it a 5-minute speech? How long do you have to get your message across, basically? And the level of detail of your message. How much do they need to know? Do they need to know all the ins and outs and all the facts and figures? Or do they just need to know the pertinent changes that are going to take effect in their department, perhaps? Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Okay, so and then you want to choose your approach. Are you going to be direct or indirect? Outline your content with number 1, the main idea, then 2, the major points of your idea, 3, your examples and your evidence to back up your idea and why you think it's fabulous and great and it's going to really work for your company. And then become a storyteller. Master your narrative. How do you want to make sure that you're being persuasive, drawing people in, and giving a compelling message so that you can get what you're trying to accomplish achieved? And I think that's really important. And you also want to make sure to know your audience. Are you doing more of kind of a proposal or a meeting for a more formal audience or informal? That's important as well. The art of email messages. Plan your email message. Plan it. That's simple, and it's something I had trouble doing. The 3-step writing process really helps. Is your message useful, and does it have business-related content? You always want to make sure that those 2 things are you can answer yes to both those questions. Is this something you need to know? Is it something that is important for our business? To write your email messages effectively, again, use the 3-step writing process. And one thing that is really important is to use a compelling subject line. I had no idea how important it was, and I will use them always from now on. State your main idea. Proofread. Make sure all who need a copy of your email receive one, and you want to double check that a couple of times because you would hate to send somebody a message who it wasn't meant for. I'm sure that's probably happened to a few of us. You want to use the auto signature. That's a good tool. Do not mark your message as urgent unless it is truly urgent. Don't cry wolf. You don't always want to, mark the message as urgent, because what if someday your message really is urgent, but they don't want to open the email from you because none of your messages are ever urgent. Then you want to keep it simple and concise. Business managers, they go through emails all day, every day. They're inundated with them, and they need to be able to take the time to get to them. So make it simple and concise for them so they're able to get your message and read it so you're heard. And then the last lesson I thought was really important was the proposals and reports. Excuse me. Again, use a 3-step writing process. Invaluable. Make sure you're giving reliable information. You want to do your research, locate data and information, and evaluate your sources. You want to use reliable sources. Make sure you're giving facts that are real. Make sure you're giving information from someone who is trustworthy. Use your research effectively. You want to analyze your data, quote, paraphrase, and summarize your information. Then you want to draw your conclusion, and then you want to make your recommendations. How did you take this information, and how are you going to make this information that you received make it work for you and your idea, your proposal, what you're trying to get across, what you're trying to achieve, your objective. You want to use clear, concise, easy-to-read visuals that are not convoluted and that draw the eye in a positive and easy-to-read way. I know we've all been on websites where the page is so full of color and different text and graph and pictures, and we just don't know where to look. It's confusing. like the first time you probably walked into a Walmart store, I was confused. I don't know how to shop there. Well, it took me a while to learn how to shop there, because it's just, there's everything everywhere. You want to make sure that you're not doing that with the information that you're trying to give. If you're making a graph or what have you, use, you know, a couple different colors, use a great font that everybody can see, that's easy to read, and just give the necessary information and keep it simple. Okay, so I thank you for listening. That is what I took from the course as the most valuable information to me, and that I know I'll take with me in my career. Again, I apologize for my voice, and thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your summer, everyone.